Hi and welcome back to Stu's Kitchen. Today I'm doing a mutton curry, but it could be any curry you like. I've prepared all my spices, my vegetables, my garlic, my ginger, and now I need to just cut up the mutton into reasonable sized chunks. I don't like it too small. You don't need to be searching through the dish looking for decent pieces of meat. I've cut up the mutton. The bits with bone in I've left quite large because I quite enjoy those pieces. I'm using just over a kilo of mutton here. I'm going to get some oil on to start getting hot. I'm using 100 milliliters of lard here. The lard's getting nice and hot. I'm starting off with a teaspoon of coriander seeds and let them pop away, and cumin seeds, about 6 cloves and 6 peppercorns, a couple of bay leaves. I'm using 2 teaspoons of garlic and 2 teaspoons of ginger. It's all sounding good. Now I'm going to put in some turmeric. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of turmeric. And now I'm using ground cumin. I'm using 1 teaspoon and a teaspoon of ground coriander. And I'm going to get the meat in to start browning. You will have to do, if you're doing over a kilo like I am doing, do it in 2 batches. Keep this frying, don't let it start stewing the meat. Must be nice and hot. Once I've browned both sides, I'm going to do the remaining mutton, and then I'm going to show you how to finish it off. The mutton nicely browned, the oil's hot. Now for the final stages, I'm going to add a couple of cinnamon sticks and some onion. And I'm going to add 4 heaped teaspoons of Garam Masala. The onions are sweating nicely. Time for my tomatoes. And a few curry leaves. These are curry leaves, not bay leaves. We put bay leaves in earlier. The onions and the tomatoes are sweating down nicely, getting nice and sweet. This is when I'm going to season it. I'm not adding pepper because I did put in peppercorns at the beginning. But when I test it to see how tender it's going, I'm going to taste the juices and then adjust the seasoning. Being Banting, we're not putting in potatoes, but we are going to serve it with cauliflower rice and some stir-fry vegetables. Now to deglaze the pan, I'm just using enough water to cover the vegetables at this stage. And then I'm going to add them to the pot. This pot is actually for a slow cooker, but it can be done in the oven or just on the stove, on a fire, at a braai. Now mutton doesn't take too long to cook. It takes a bit longer than lamb. So I'm going to give this around about 2 hours, but I'm going to test it after about an hour and just see how it's doing. You don't want the meat shrinking and pulling away from the bone. This is smelling divine. I haven't put any chili in it because my wife doesn't like anything too hot. I like it hot, so I add some chili powder when I serve myself up. Let's get this into the pot and into the slow cooker. I'm going to see if I need to add a little bit more water because I think the meat should just be covered. Let me do that. Let's get this into the slow cooker. I'm putting it on high and I'm going to check it in an hour's time. In the meantime, I'm going to get some stir-fry vegetables done and some cauliflower rice. Don't go away. It's been just over 2 hours. I've thickened it with 2 teaspoons of arrowroot. Now arrowroot is carbs, but when you think 2 teaspoons in a big pot like this, you're going to get very little carbs with each portion. I've also checked the seasoning and it did need a bit more salt. Here we go. Cauliflower rice, stir fry vegetables. It doesn't get any better. It's Banting and it's so good for you. There's some nice pieces. I'm so looking forward to this. Wow. A bit of coriander on top to finish it off. And don't forget there's sandals as well. Smells fantastic, looks fantastic, doesn't get any better. Cheers. I've cut up the lamb into... Lamb? It's not lamb. This is smelling... Why are my glasses on?